Expectation's a powerful thing. She said, he told me he was going up there.
I met a 72-year-old gentleman yesterday at the top of the hill that welcomes people into the Omni Grove Park Inn. And I had 2 hours of conversation with him. I just want to quickly distill what he told me. I asked him, given his 72 years of experience, if he could share with me 2 to 3 nuggets of information. What would he say? He said, be happy, do what you love, let conscience be your guide, and love. And let love permeate to and through everything that you do. And I thought, holy hell, if that's what I'm attracting into my life experience in terms of engaging with people that can just with such profundity express that with tangibility and feeling.
Did he tell you he's not making any money, but he loves what he does?
He absolutely adores what he does.
Yeah.
It was an incredible experience.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to tap into, you said about Jerry's experience in terms of starting from the end, and if you can't multiply it by 1,000, then don't do it. Over the last weeks and months, I'm enjoying the re-engineering of my life experience in so much that the way I would express it right now is moving beyond the reality of my senses, my seeing, my smelling, my tasting, my touching, my feeling. And I want to...
The 5 physical senses of tangibility,
right,
but not moving beyond your sense of alignment.
Exactly.
Your emotional senses. That's where you're putting the emphasis these days.
Right. Well, I'm recognizing that they're limited apertures to my experience itself.
They're not limited, they're just old news.
Well, they're indicators. I'm seeing them as just indicators of the moment.
Yeah.
So the basis of today's question is with regards to imagination and my capability to unlock.
Hold your thought for just a moment, because you've said a key word here in this discussion that is evolving in imagination, in imagination. So I'm in the receptive mode, and there's a vibration that is presenting itself to me, and because I'm in the receptive mode, I'm able to find imagery. So I am viscerally translating from a intangible vibration an image. Interesting, because you just told us that you're not thinking about seeing or hearing or smelling or tasting or touching, and yet that vibration was translated by you in a visual fashion. It's a really good thing. It's a really good awareness, isn't it?
I've had an enjoyable experience with Abraham, in so much that I spent the first 30 years of my life suppressing emotion, and you've helped me over the last 10 years peel back the onion to become...
We don't think you've been suppressing emotion. We think you have been misunderstanding the importance
of it, yeah.
So not suppressing it, just disregarding it. Because you have not been able to suppress it, because in the disregard, you weren't controlling your alignment. And law of attraction made it bigger and bigger and bigger until you had no choice but to acknowledge it. So you didn't suppress it, you just didn't use it well.
Right, I swam against the current of my own emotional telling.
Yeah. Efforting, yeah.
Even though I think I have the best eloquence, sometimes you just overshadow it all with just brilliance. So,
well, you set us up for the next logical thing.
Right.
You prepare a basis that takes us into a new place. That's why this is co-creation at its best.
Yeah. There's a couple of snippets that I think are pertinent to express. A few months ago, somebody said to me, Mark, take a look at the crucifix. And I'm not a religious person, ever have been, not sure I ever will be, but in terms of being aware of my own consciousness, they said, why do you think that the vertical axis is longer than the horizontal axis? And I never actually thought about it at the time when they said it, but when you say alignment trumps everything, when you have your vertical axis alignment, your alignment with your true self, then life on the horizontal plane. So if you have alignment with your vertical plane,
it's just
life
because
on the
your legs
horizontal
and
plane
torso are
becomes-
longer than your arms, that's all. That's all that was about. That's all that was
I was
about.
just using it as a mild analogy, okay?
We
So
thought
what-
our analogies were bad.
Yeah. Hey, alignment trumps everything. It works for me. That's good enough. I think it was an important nugget there that I've taken away in terms of starting from the end. Instead of thinking of the end, think from the end. Over this last 10 years of this engagement,
Think
you've helped...
from the end. Think from the end.
Instead of thinking of the end,
Yeah.
think from the end.
And how does one do that?
You've helped me unlock my emotional self, yeah? In terms of recognizing my own emotional self, my own feelings, and how to leverage the intensity of what I feel into what is becoming.
The reason that we're asking you to clarify that is because we don't know if you just stumbled on this. In other words, it may be that you're not really knowing the profound thing that you just said, and we just don't want you to skip over it until you really hear it. So there is a result that you seek, but you're not focused upon the result or the condition that you're seeking. Now you're following the path what? To alignment, path to alignment, path to clarity.
Right.
And so since you're following the path to clarity and finding it on a really regular basis and sustaining it, now you're in a place of being in the receptive mode. And because you're in the receptive mode, you're receiving imagery of what is to come before it comes. So you're receiving, in a sense, imagery of the end place that you're seeking even before it is fleshed in, which just sort of makes it easier for you to maintain it in a longer period of time.
Right.
That may not be where you were going, but it was a really good place to go.
No, it is. You're one step ahead of me, though. I'm on catch-up now.
That's because we're in your vortex.
And you're sucking me to everything that I desire. I know that.
Yeah.
It's a perfect place to be. So, like emotion, for somebody that has not truly defined or understood imagination, how can you help me best define imagination so that, and now I tie this into meditation and...
All right, so imagination is, I'm in the receptive mode of something, and I'm there consistently enough that now I'm translating a vibration of something wanted or unwanted into something that I can see. That's what imagination is. It's time for a segment of refreshment. But the thing that we really want you to hear, that receptive mode, Esther's in the receptive mode. So she's in the vicinity of that which we are, and we're offering a vibration, and she's receiving it and taking it into the physical, tangible analogies and verbiage. So a person that is experiencing the sight of imagination is doing that. They are in the vibrational vicinity, and the vibration is turning to thoughts, let's call imagination, really well-defined vibration. In other words, by the time it's something that's visual, there is plenty of momentum in it in order for you to translate it visually, yes?
Right. The feeling place I've got down, it's the imagining, it's the
But you see what
bringing to fruition, the color, the detail.
But here's the piece for you. You want to get in the receptive mode, period. You don't want to control or conjure what you receive.
Exactly.
You want to get in the receptive mode, period. You don't want to conjure or control what you receive. You want to get into the receptive mode, period. You don't want to conjure or control what you receive. Because what you want is already well defined in your vortex. So if you're in the receptive mode, period, not messing up the receptive mode by trying to conjure or control it, in the receptive mode, then the ideas...
In a free place of allowing.
In the free place of allowing, then the ideas flow, and the ideas are on target, and that's following the path of least resistance. And that's the way you wish to live all of the days of your life. That's what you all came for. You came knowing that you couldn't get it wrong, and that the variety would inspire you, and that there would be a predecessor to all manifestation that would be vibrational in nature, and you knew that source and all that source means would be there tending it and holding the vibration of it, and that you knew that law law of attraction would summon to it, and you wanted to be one of the cooperative components that was summoned. And then you got the biggest piece of all. You wanted to feel good. You cared about feeling good, and you found reasons to feel good. You set aside the conditions that you formerly thought you needed in order to feel good, and you just felt good for the sake of feeling good, felt good for the sake of feeling good. And you discovered and nailed and practiced and honed and came to know the receptive mode until you began to receive anytime you wanted. So then life starts to feel like, oh, I think I would like that, and then ideas begin to flow about it. And you always know which is the path of least resistance, so you're always moving in sync with others, you see. And when it gets off a little, you say, oh, what's going on? And every single time you feel like something's gone wrong, what's gone wrong is you've focused upon a condition, and you've gone back to your old ways of trying to control the condition rather than doing the only thing that you are wanting to do, which is to get in and tend to your receiving mode. We'll talk way more about that after a segment of refreshment. Good time for it.